What is up, everyone? Welcome back. 2 in a row. What can I say? You might be wondering, where the hell are you, Tin? What are you doing? I'm currently at my uncle's property, doing my thing. I'm using the phone because I think the wind's going to be too noisy. So we're going to see how this mic works. I don't really know how it works. I haven't used it before, but anyway. I just want to say, first of all, thank you all for the support that you gave me on that last video, podcast episode. You guys all said you really enjoyed it, and I got some, great feedback from people and some great advice as well. So I just want to say thank you so much for that, and hopefully more can come sooner or later. But here we are, 2 in a row. So, I enjoyed the last one that we did, and I think I'm going to enjoy this one as well. I've been thinking a lot lately, and one of the things I've been thinking about is, like, when I've been thinking about, like, what's been on my mind, one sort of thing comes to mind, and it's sort of like, it's not like a thing, but it is, but I'll explain it a bit better. And the thing I think we're going to talk about today really is letting it hurt. That might just sound like a bit of a weird phrase to throw out there and stuff, but like, I've been thinking a lot lately just about life and putting stuff into perspective, relationship wise, friendship wise, and just, personally. And one of the things that comes to mind is, like, when I keep thinking, is just like, let it hurt. And for me, it's like a very open phrase, but it's one that sort of pointiates towards the relationship side of life, which we can get into later. I don't think we really need to get into that right now, but letting that disrespect hurt, letting that rejection hurt, letting the job hurt, letting the things you love hurt. I think a lot of cases, especially as a young man as myself, we tend to let things not hurt, if that makes sense. Like, things that should hurt us not hurt. And it's not like because we're like, oh, too tough, It's just that we just don't acknowledge it, and we just push it to the back of our heads, if that makes sense. Like, for example, when something like personally affects me or hurts me, I tend to try and do everything in my power to, like, not think about it, not, listen to it, and, like, just avoid it like it's a plague. So, and hopefully side note, hopefully the camera video audio works, but we'll see. But yeah, I tend to let things just, like, fly past me and not like not approach it, and not actually digest what's going on or what's happened and stuff like that. And I think what happens is then we miss the opportunity to address it, and then a year down the track you find yourself going, oh my God, I should have said this. And it's like, hold on, brother, you had the chance to address it and you chose not to. You moved on, but you didn't move on because you're still living in that moment now, and something's reminded you of that, or you've actually, you've had a minute to sit and you're like, wow, that actually did affect me and offend me in a way. And I can't believe I didn't sit with that disrespect and I just let it happen. There's this thing, like, at the moment with, like, the nonchalant type of stuff. And I see that and I think there's no nobility in being nonchalant. There's no power in that. If anything, it just shows the inadequacy as you as a human being. I like the people that are out there that, like, say it how it is, tell you what you want, I think the most valuable friendships out there are the people that tell you what you don't want to hear, more so the fact that what you do want to hear. And I have heaps of friends that do that to me, some more than others, and also more often than not they're telling me I'm an idiot. Yeah, and it's for the good, it's good. It brings me down to earth, and it actually helps me, like, realize that, like, most of the time I come up with pretty stupid ideas, and I do pretty stupid things, but you gotta surround yourself with those people. You know what I mean? I think some people, like, prefer they prefer to just be around these people that just will lick up to them and just go like, or prefer to be the people that lick up to other people. And I just could never do that, you know what I mean? If I don't like something about someone, or I think someone's doing something wrong or stupid, I'm just going to be like, bro, you're an idiot. Stop that, you know what I mean? If my mate's putting his hand in the fire and then wondering why he's getting burnt, I'm going to tell him, dude, you keep sticking your hand in the goddamn fire. Stop that, you know what I mean? And I think you need to be a bit more like that. I think we all need to. And maybe I'm just speaking for myself, and that's cool if I am. You know, maybe everyone else is like good at this and I'm not. But one thing that from just sitting here the last couple of days, one thing I wish and hope to improve about myself is the fact that I sort of let people just disrespect me and I just move on with my life. You know what I mean? And in a way, it does affect me, but I just choose not to sit with the fact that it does. And then a year down the track, I go, dude, as if you let that guy punch you in the face and then you walked off. That's what I mean. You know what I mean? No one's actually punched me in the face, but still, the fact still stands of like sitting with that disrespect and letting people get away with, you know, hurting you and stuff like that isn't acceptable. If I can put it into perspective, and one perspective I could put it into is like, for example, November last year. There was this girl that I was talking to for a while. Beautiful girl, gorgeous girl. But anyway, we were talking for a while, and you know, a good while, and we were getting along great, and we were meant to, you know, go on dinner dates and stuff like that. You know, do your thing. You know, what's that? Sorry, I'm sorry about that. But we're meant to, you know, continue stuff, and then anyway, she comes to a party with me. She's never met any of my mates, and I invite her to this party, and I bring her there, and anyway, we hook up, you know. And when I say hook up, I mean just like, you know, I didn't sleep with her. I don't sleep with people. Why did I say that? Anyway, anyway, we hook it up, and then I'm like, oh, okay, this is it, you know, like, yeah, let's go, Tiernan, mate, you've won, you know. And I sort of then the next day I wake up, you know, feeling like $1 million. I'm like, yes, this is great, you know. It's 3 PM. All right, I don't know if you've woken up the next day from a big night or a rough night. You sort of start moving around 3 PM, you know what I mean? So I'm moving at 3 PM, I'm getting up, doing my, you know, just doing my daily tasks, whatever that is. And then I get a text from her. And I look down on my phone and I go, damn. And you will all know what I'm talking about. I hope my brothers and my sisters out here will all know what I'm talking about. When you look down at your phone and you just go, you don't even open the notification. You just see a text from her and you know it ain't going to be a good one. You know what I mean? So I look down at my phone and I'm like, damn. You know what I mean? Like, damn. So I open the text and she goes, oh, look, we rushed in. I shouldn't have kissed you last night. Pause. Hold on. What the hell do you mean? What? You kissed me? So I was fuming. Right? I was so angry and upset. I was like, what do you mean? First of all, that's a crazy statement. Who says that? And then second of all, who texts that to someone? You know what I mean? So I'm there, and I'm like, I'm just looking at this message, and it's like, I shouldn't have kissed you last night. I don't want to see you. I don't want to see you. And I'm just like, I'm not heartbroken, but I'm like, damn, you really did that. So I'm looking at this phone and I respond with, whoa. I didn't say this, but I responded with something similar. I'm like, hold the horses, brother. Can I call you? Here's my number, can I call you? I feel like you've got the wrong idea here. Because sometimes people like get too overwhelmed, that's understandable. And I'm just better at talking over the phone than I am, as you could probably see here, at texting. If someone texts me, I just won't respond. Just not because I won't respond to them, it's just I'm not good at... you ever like open the message and then like, but you don't open it, you half swipe it, and you like visually respond to it? That's what I do. Anyway, I'm like, I'm like, boom, let me get you on the phone. She responds with, no, you don't need that. I've said what I've said. Have a good day. Wish you all the best. Now, at this point, I'm like, oh my God, I am so mad. I'm freaking fuming here, guys. I'm freaking fuming. So what I do, I'm starting to type away. I'm going boom, 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 boom. And I send her a text and I go, no issue. Wish you all the best too. Damn. Now, why did I do that? Why did I text her such a minimal response? And I guess, if I could respond to you now, it was for me to seem more unfazed. And like, damn, I don't care. Realistically, I did care a lot. I cared so much. I was like, oh my God, why the hell would she do that? I was fuming. And the thing is, like, this girl, for example, I don't sort of reach out to girls too often. Like, I have friends, obviously, friends that are girls, and I don't like reach out to girls. I don't text chicks, I don't do all that. I can't be bothered. I've got a lot on my plate, and it's not like I couldn't make the effort. It's not. I'm protecting this right now. I'm protecting the mental fortitude of my mind. I'm trying to sound so cool, but I'm really not. But I did that thinking like, wow, you're so nonchalant, bro. And then looking back at it, I'm thinking, dude, you're an idiot. Like, sure, you sort of protected your ego, but at the same time, you sort of like damaged your ability to, one, associate disrespect, and two, associate being hurt. I didn't address that at all after that period of time. When she did that, and when she did that to me, I put it to the back of my mind straight away. And I just said, no, what can I do? And it really did affect me, because I really liked this girl. This girl was genuinely a really nice girl, and she was really, she was gorgeous. And she was smart, funny, all these things. But at the time, I was like, I'm better than her now. She's chosen. You always hear this stuff like, wow, they're going to regret this decision. And that can be true. Like, no doubt about it. But at the same time, I was sort of like, yeah, that can be true. But also, you gotta fight this demon properly. You can't hide in the closet and hide in the corner and just pretend like it's not there. You know what I mean? You can't hide under the bed sheets and pretend like the problem isn't there, because it is there. So now that I'm sitting here and I'm realizing this, I sort of have a different way to approach it. And there's, if I was to be seeing someone now and talking to someone now, and for example, I asked them to dinner, and they said, sure, let's go, I'm so keen. And then night of, they go 30 minutes before and go, actually, sorry, I can't make it, I've got this on. And it's a bullshit excuse where it's like, I've got a doctor's appointment I forgot about. Come on. Just say you don't want to go. You know what I mean? But if someone was to do that to me now, I wouldn't wait for them. I wouldn't keep that door open. Because life is too short to be waiting for people to be ready for you. If I'm ready for someone, I'd hope that they feel the same, right? I shouldn't have to beg and convince someone to go on a date with me. Nor should I have to tell them it's okay that they've disrespected me by doing that. If I reach out to someone and they go, Tien, I'm not interested, or they go, Tien, I'm not going to be at dinner, I don't want to go to dinner with you, I would prefer that 100%, And funny we say this, because there was this other girl now, a couple weeks ago, and for all those people who think they know who I'm talking about, I guarantee you don't know this one. This ain't the same person. But anyway, this girl, another gorgeous girl, good-looking girl. Anyway, I reached out to her a couple weeks ago and I was like, oh, we need to catch up. And she texted me back and goes, hey Tiernan, I'm actually with someone at the moment, dating someone at the moment, so, you know, it's not going to happen. But I want to say that you seem like a really lovely guy, and I do appreciate it. And you know, when I saw that text, I was like, let's go. You know what I mean? I was like, it didn't hurt, it didn't sting. You know what I mean? I was like, yeah, let's go. You know what I mean? That's great. I appreciate it. I appreciate you telling me. And you know, there was no hard feelings towards that person for that. Now, on the other hand, it's like, it's cool, you know. But the other girl from last year that did that to me, I was like, why would you lead me on and do all that? And now I'm here holding, you know, the coins in my pocket. If that makes any sense to you. But anyway, that is my rant about that. What else has been happening? Since the last episode, which was a week ago, I've just been thinking a lot, and I've been going to war with the bad man up here, bro. I've been going to war with this guy, and I've been sort of figuring out what I want as a person. Relationship, sure, can be one of them, but I don't think I'm going to force one, you know. And I'm tired of waiting for one as well. So I'm just gonna, it's not like I'm out here, like I said, I'm not here texting people going like, we should hang out. You know, the odd time I do, but I'm not waiting for people. You know, I think my mate Benny said, bro, you're really dialed in right now. All that's holding you back is, you know, waiting for this. And I think there is power in waiting, if you know you're waiting for that person. But also, you got to come to a point where you got to go, sure, I've invested a lot of time into this, but I got to be willing to walk away. You know what I mean? And be willing to hold my head up high, knowing I've done all I could, and literally tried every single thing possible, and walk away knowing you've done that. You know, that's more powerful than you sitting there going, but, well, you know, please, please hang out with me, you know what I mean? I've never done that, but still, oh, please, that's crazy. I think there's more power and beauty in that, where you walk away and you go, alright, you haven't shown me anything in return, I'm walking away from this. But, you know, so relationship is one of them, and I think that will happen down the line, hopefully. You know, and I'm backflipping on what I said last week, but like I'm not forcing anything in my life. You know, everything comes when you deserve it and when you've worked hard enough. And do I think I'm the man deserving of a relationship right now? My ego wants to say yes, but me personally, I don't know. You know what I mean? It's not my choice, I don't think. And like I said, it'll come when it comes. You know what I mean? And who knows? Who knows? Secondly, what else have I got going on? What have I been thinking about? Tradia, this. I wanna upscale this, and I wanna really start moving the kegs with this a lot more. Man, it's so enjoyable talking to you guys right now, and I hope you get as much enjoyment out of this than I do. And please send me questions. Whatever you want to do, send me them. I do not care. I do not care. It's chill. Please send me questions. I want to talk to you guys. I want to hear what you guys got going on in your life. And thirdly, I've made a choice about uni and my internship and fighting. And I realised, can we get a drum roll, please? Sorry. I've realised I'm gonna stay. I'm gonna stay. I'm gonna do it, and I can do it because I've got the drive and determination. I'm just being a baby about this. You know what I mean? And I just got to get on with it. And, like, there's no excuse for me not to get on with it. So I've been given a gift here and given an opportunity, so let's take it on the chin, let's do it. You know what I mean? And finally, fighting. We're all in. We're all in. Let's do this, you know? Sorry, that might be a bit loud. I apologise. I'll turn that part down. But yeah, I hope you guys are doing well, and you guys have reached out and said a lot of you relate to what I'm saying, so I'm glad that I'm not the only one here. You know what I mean? I'm glad I'm not alone on this trek. But, you know, yeah. You got to be willing to walk away from people, guys, and you got to be willing to hold that head up high and deal with the disrespect appropriately. Don't let disrespect slide, but also don't go overboard with it. Like, don't over emotionatize the feeling. Just deal with it. Move on from it. Deal with it appropriately. Move on, and man, you'll be good. Life's gonna be alright, you know. Life's too short to be hanging around people that don't care about you in the way that they should, nor show you the respect that you deserve. So I strongly believe that. But anyway, guys, this has been episode 2 of Today. I will see you all later. Have a good week. I will see you next week. Please send me questions. I'm begging. Please send me questions or reach out to me, whatever you'd like. I'd love to talk about the podcast with you. And just have a blessed week. Stay well. See you, ladies and gentlemen. All the best.